Welcome to AP World History. This is Chapter 21. We'll be looking at three Islamic empires located in the Middle East and India. The first empire that we'll take a look at is the Ottoman Empire, which lasts for about 600 years. This shows a picture of the golden age of the empire, the Ottoman Empire, and as you can see, it extended in North Africa, Egypt, parts of Iraq, the Balkan Peninsula, and parts of Russia. Very extensive empire. Certainly was a challenge to Western Europe. If the Ottoman Empire had not been turned back at probably Vienna, we all might be of the Islamic faith. But fortunately, they were turned back if you come from the perspective of Christians. Tamer the Lame was the first Muslim emperor who tried to expand his empire from the Pacific well into the Caspian Sea and parts of what now is modern-day Iran. He was hoping to restore Genghis Khan. Empire was reported to be of Mongol ancestry. He's going to be replaced by Mehmet the First. He is really what is considered the first Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. And under his leadership, the Sultan divided up the government into actually two sections, and they were directly under the Sultan was the Divans, and they had other Divans under them, and the military was under their leadership, local administrators, tax collectors. On the right side, they had what they called a millet, and this allowed religious freedom within the empire. So, like the Mongols, the Ottoman Empire extended religious freedom to not only Jews but Christians as well. Mehmet the Second is going to be his successor. He will eventually conquer the Byzantine Empire. This shows the fall of the Byzantine Empire in 1453. Istanbul is what was Constantinople, will become the Ottomans' capital city. It's still called Istanbul to this day. This shows the Golden Horn. This shows Constantinople or Istanbul. This is located on the Dardanelles and Bosphorus, connecting the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. This again shows an overhead view. Very strategic place, a well-fortified city. Again, the Golden Horn. The city of Istanbul is primarily located on the western side, the European side. Eventually, the Turkish Navy will challenge the Phoenicians and Genoans for control of the Mediterranean. Their navy will capture most of Greece, Rhodes, Crete, Cyprus will all come under their control. They will also extend their empire to Syria, Egypt, and northern Africa. And they will be, as we said before, a serious threat to the Christian empire, the Christian Europe. The Ottoman Empire controlled trade from India and China to the Mediterranean. This is challenged when Vasco da Gama reached India and established contact in Goa. They were what they called janissaries. These were Christian boys who were taken as slaves. Many times the family would sell them into slavery. They would be converted to Islam, and they would be fiercely loyal to the Sultan. It was more or less his stormtroopers, his bodyguard. It shows a picture of the janissaries. a long period of indoctrination training, uh, lived a life without children or families, uh, celibate for their lifestyle. Uh, Eventually, the Ottoman Empire is going to weaken, but it's not going to be until about the 20th century. Sometimes the Ottoman Empire in the 19th century was considered uh, the weak brother, the sick man of Europe, simply because it was waning in power. There was internal strife at times, particularly when there was not a clear successor to the throne. These sultans had large harems and produced a lot of offspring. One of the things that we'll see in all three of these Islamic empires is that they like to make a display of wealth and power. One of the ways that they would do this was a construction of palaces and mosques. They formed what they called guilds, um, which would control trade, and they had certain regulations that they lived under, according to the Islamic faith. But everything ultimately goes back to the Ottoman rulers. They control, everyone's accountable to the Sultan. Here's some of the mosques they built. This is called the Faith Mosque. The Blue Mosque. This is some of the interior. Eventually, the Ottoman Empire was unable to ward off powerful enemies that surrounded them, and they will sort of be dismantled. And at the end of World War II, the Ottoman Empire will come to an end. You could probably say one of the reasons, and this is a reoccurring theme throughout all three of these Islamic empires, is there was quite a bit of warfare that seemed to weaken the empires over time. You could also say that they spent extravagant amounts of money, which put a tremendous tax burden on the people. People don't like paying taxes, and eventually the government will lose their support. Not only because they haven't taxed us, but the corruption that will exist in the civil government. Discipline and leadership in the army and the navies will deteriorate, and all this will bring an end to the Ottoman Empire. One serious blow that the Ottoman Empire suffered was the combined Spanish and Phoenician fleets, and they defeated the Ottoman forces at Lepanto in 1571. And this is going to loosen the grip that the Ottomans had over the Mediterranean area. And this is going to give other Europeans a chance to trade more freely in this area. Also, you would have to say that the Ottoman Empire fell because they didn't adopt much of the new technology coming from the West. So if there were new ideas, they just sort of resisted this because of the Islamic faith. This shows a picture of the Spanish and Phoenician fleets defeating the Ottoman Empire or his forces at Lepanto in 1571. And this is going to loosen their grip on the Mediterranean area. Now, we're going to turn our attention to the Safavid Empire. This is located most of it is located in what we now call Iran, parts of Afghanistan, parts of Iraq, and also Saudi Arabia. Safi ad-Din was the first Shah who is going to come to power. One of the things that we will see about the Safavid Empire is that they were Shiites, and the Ottoman Empire was Sunnis, and there was a fierce hatred between these two. Uh, he will lead a group of Turkish ethnic groups in Azerbaijan near the Caspian Sea, and he will come against the Ottoman Empire, and he will take control. This shows the Ottoman Empire and the Safavid Empire. They're not going to ask you a lot of questions about the Safavid Empire, other than they were in constant warfare with the Ottoman Empire. They just didn't like each other. The Safavid Empire will also aid in establishing the Mughal Empire in India. Um, they were certainly interested in trade, but resistant to Western ideas. Um, so they predominantly are Shiites, descendants of Muhammad rule. Uh, they're going to fight some battles with the Ottoman Empire. Kaliran was a battle that was fought, and they were defeated. Eventually, this empire will collapse from the Afghans in 1722. Nader Shah will briefly restore the empire, but outside forces and internal forces will cause a collapse. Shah Ismail, 1501 to 1524, about 23 years. He will be less tolerant of people, other kinds of religions within his empire. He will establish the Sultan's rule in the Shah's rule in the Safavid Empire, and then he later will be succeeded by Shah Abbas the Great. He built a Persian standing army and regained some of the territory from the Ottoman Empire. As I said before, there's not going to be very many questions asked about this empire, but they're primarily Shiites. And we're not interested in getting along with this, the Sunni. This shows a picture of Shah Abbas. Probably brought the empire to its highest glory. He got to the throne by deposing his father and imprisoning him, and later killing the man who helped him get to the throne. Not too grateful. He attacked the Ottoman Empire with European help. They saw the Safavids as allies in terms of Europeans to regain territory lost from the Ottoman Empire. And eventually this empire will come to an end. This shows a picture of the Safavid Empire. And we'll close here, and then we'll pick this up next time in part 2.